Alright, so for the past few days as I was searching on my phone, I got an offer to have an HBO premium for like a month, and I said, oh great, I can finally watch some shows like Penguin and the Batman movie on some serious 4K quality, and not on some pirate websites, with ads about some bitch named Anna that's like 3 kilometers away from me, or someone named Rebecca that was always 1K away from me. But I've also noticed Last of Us was also on HBO, and they made a show, and the internet kind of went big on that one, from being chopped to not liking the actress to I don't even know what's happening at this point. I mean, the series was fine, I guess, nothing too special, other than I laughed a lot when some emotional scene would come up. Where I also bursted out of laughter was in game itself, that movie was inspired by. And then I realized Last of Us also has a part 2. By the way, make sure to check out the part 1, and also while you're at it, subscribe and like if you like these types of videos. And drop a follow on Twitch where we live stream all of this. But let's start with The Last of Us Part 2. The game opens up with Joel telling Tommy about what happened after their last meetup and went on a little ride to get back to the HQ, and afterwards had some father-daughter time. Eventually Joel also wrote her a song, but actually that was just a prologue. The real game starts when Ellie woke up and Jackie Chan from Temu was knocking on her door and talking about his ex that kissed Ellie apparently, but that's something that will be more important, but I just do not care about later on, to be honest. You will find out why, but as I was also going around the room, I've noticed that Ellie had a PlayStation 3. Poor people couldn't taste that PlayStation 4, and also let alone PlayStation 5 and the upcoming GTA 6 and Witcher 4. Sucks for them, right? Ellie got dressed up and went on a base tour with Jackie Chan until we met up with Dina again, and then we had some snowball fight with kids. Of course we won since we don't lose, but since we are also on a topic of winning, we also won on getting selected for scouting the area with Dina. But what's most important is, since this is part 2, the game actually has 2 protagonists, which is more amazing. The first one, of course, is being Ellie, lesbian, somewhat of a Chad, and then being Abby, basically a male inside of a female body. She was army trained, has more muscles than 99.9% of males, and now the reason why we play as Abby will throughout the game be revealed, but basically Abby and this guy went on a hike to find out where Ellie and the rest of the gang is. Now this guy is being a little small bitch, to be honest, and he decided not to go, but Abby said, you know, fuck it, I have bigger balls than you. On the other hand, Ellie and Dina are having wonderful time, or should I say high life. Get it? Because they found some kind of attic that was filled with marijuana. But now what's the funniest part was that they had intercourse, and then afterwards got caught by Jackie Chan, and Dina was his ex. Yup. Stay away from Ellie, to be honest, she's gonna steal your bitch. Meanwhile, Ellie was fighting tooth and nail to stay away from the zombies and their bites. Tommy and Joel actually saved her, and Abby told them to get to her HQ, temporary base, which was the house. Ellie found out that Tommy and Joel were captured, so she went there. And of course, being there alone against 10 other people was kinda unrealistic, but she found out through Jackie, so she invaded them, and things kinda escalated pretty quickly. You see, Ellie watched Abby beating the living shit out of Joel to the point of death. Yeah, Joel was beaten up to death by this muscular ass woman, while he killed at least hundreds of men in a hospital alone. But since Abby gave Joel hole in one, they left Ellie on the floor and she got woken up by Dina. Being hungry for revenge and vengeance, Ellie decided to kill all of the Abby gang, including the Abby herself, to revenge Joel. But before they can do that, Ellie decided to visit Joel's home and went into the Amazon forest, aka Seattle. Long story short, they went through Fedra's old base and did some puzzles with electricity. It was fun and how realistic the cable gravity is implanted in this game. Once we got through the checkpoint, Ellie decided to open up a map that was big as my city, literally where I live. Now what's cool is once you visited the places and see what they have to offer, they will be checked off the map. Fast forward, we end up in some hotel and actually jumped on a street few minutes later by the Abby's gang, and luckily enough killed one of them. So we just had to shoot our way to a rendezvous point where some of them also got killed, but at least we got intel on where the rest of the members were headed and their pictures. But we missed spotted, so we had to run down in a metro station and kill a lot of people like we were in John Wick movie. And we met another zombie type. The guy was big as fuck and fat and tanky, but if we let him too close, we would die just instantly. We lost Dina on the way, but managed to meet up with her again and started running and ended up in theater. Now while Ellie was having memory visions from back in the day when she was a kid, Dina made up a map about where the others were located, but over the radio they heard that some trespassing. At first they thought it was Tommy, but it was actually Jesse. Ellie had another flashback that came from Last of Us Part 1, which you should go and check out my video again. So basically we had to move a car again and shoot from it to save our asses. Although the car lasted us like 5 minutes because we drowned it, but that don't matter since we came back to HQ and Ali had a childhood memory played with Tommy where we practiced long range shooting with a sniper rifle, which was sick and had a little bit of fun with Joel. And back to the present we go. Dina found out about Abby and had a lead on Nora about how her team went to grab supplies from the hospital. But of course, Last of Us wouldn't be fun if we didn't have to travel hundreds of kilometers and get jumped by some forest gang members called survivors that put arrow in Ellie. But hey, at least we got to a hospital and chased down by Nora. What was actually surprising is that Nora went to the spot where there were spores and gave her a beating, but she got finished off by or gas. I don't know what is it? Is it gas or poison? Please let me know down in the comments. Back at the HQ we had a chat with Jesse and proceeded to go with him on a trip. Also he found out that he was a father, and the first thing he did was of course leave Dina, and he decided to come with us on an island where Ellie killed Owen and Mel. In this situation some people would say 2 birds with 1 stone, but actually it was 3 since Mel was pregnant as well. Of course, Tommy and Jesse were also there, but after regrouping back to theater, this part was a real cinema. Abby the goat was there and ready to put their brains all over the walls, but before she does that, we get to play as Abby and see her past and perspective on this whole thing. But long story short was, she was part of Fireflies and they were actually nice and helped a zebra get out of metal barrier. Of course, the surgeon that Joel killed in part 1 was her father, and she sought revenge. And she got it by killing Joel. Back in Fireflies HQ, I gotta admit, they had a nice fucking gym. If I was a part of Bad Boy Club like that, my ass wouldn't leave the place, other than for food and to be honest, because what more than you need. Also, if someone knows Abby's workout routine, please let me know down in the comments. Now, her gang came to the Fireflies facility and talked with their leader, and they decided that Abby should lead a team, and of course Owen was part of it, and let's just say that they had a little thing for each other. I still can't believe that even a buff woman like this one has more of a romantic life than me. But the problem was, while Abby sneaked out to go on a date, she got kidnapped by some bald heads, aka survivors, and eventually got saved by 2 children. One named Yara and the other one named Lev. Now Yara got her arm broke and Abby decided to go to a temporarily safe space and basically immobilize the arm, but at least Abby went back to Owen for a date and let's just say they had sexy time. On Seattle Day 2, Abby came to pick up Lev and Yara and she was in a rough shape. In Aquarium, Abby put Yara on a surgical table and Mel said that they needed to cut half of her arm off since she's in a lot of pain and bone shattered and has a compartment syndrome, but in order for her to do that, she needed a surgical kit, so Abby went to pick it up with a young Avatar. Of course, that path wouldn't be taken by the ground, so they had to take the air out where they made air bridges. Yes, I'm not joking. Now, Abby may be Miss Olympia and strong as fuck, but she was afraid of heights. But at least she got dealt with fear and pushed through. She got to a hospital, found surgical kit. However, there was a boss fight from Stranger Things, but at least they made to Aquarium safe and surgery went well. Now it was time to deliver the kids back to the village they came from, which was like in the middle of the ocean. But before they do that, Abby encountered with Tommy, who was apparently John Wick of a sniper, but at least he got through off. Now on the island, they were preparing trying to defend against fireflies, and things kind of went off the track since these kids found out that their mom died. So yeah, all of that for nothing. So they fought tooth and nail to get to a boat and get back, just to get captured by some gang, and Armus Yara died. Of course, Abby had to leave her hanging and save the bald kid as well, and her own ass. And back to the aquarium we went, just so Abby can find out that the dog, Owen, Mel, and the child died. Or should I say, got killed by Ellie. Now this changed my whole ass perspective on the game, and I still can't come around Ellie's fans and Joel's fans. But the game is about surviving and seeking revenge, so I get it. Ellie on the floor left a map, so that's how Abby came inside of a theater and found about their location. And the legendary scene continues. Tommy got a bit hurt in the process since he tried stopping Abby from killing Ellie, and of course more or less it was a chase across the theater, but he survived later on, so which sucks. Abby fucked up both Dina and Ellie pretty badly, but of course Abby showed mercy for some reason. I guess she wanted to show off who's the alpha here and a bigger woman in this position. And back to the Ellie's POV we go, where we played Farm Simulator, but she was filled up with it, so she doesn't want to live this family life, and went back to seek Abby. While her and this young avatar she was traveling with, they got captured again. Ellie found out that they were actually imprisoned on a private island with maximum security, so of course Ellie broke into a prison and found Abby hanging from a log, where she took advantage since Abby had literally zero energy, tired as fuck, beaten up, but she managed to escape with the kid, and Ellie got back home with 2 less fingers, and the game ends by trying to play guitar with 3 fingers and of course made some chords. So yeah, that's about it. The game was super fun, super intense, and honestly my ass can't even look at Ellie and Joel the same. But for my Abby fans, this will be the beginning. Honestly, I can't wait for the part 3. What's actually funny is I probably narrated this game in less than 10 minutes, while this took me 50 hours of playtime. But hey, you know, we are here to enjoy it. Also, I'm kind of considering going back for this channel. I haven't been active because of work and university and so on. But we'll be back. We are back, baby. And please let me know down in the comments what game should be played next. Anyways, till then, stay safe and peace.